Welcome back to our channel. Many people wait for support. Many people wait for appreciation. Many people wait for recognition. They say, "No one understands me. No one supports me. No one notices my effort." But here is the truth. Most people are busy with their own problems. They are focused on their own struggles, their own goals, their own lives. They are not thinking about your dreams every day. And that is not cruel. That is reality. If you wait for others to care, you will wait forever. If you wait for motivation from outside, you will stay average. Nobody cares about your goals more than you do. Nobody will wake up early for your success. Nobody will sacrifice for your future. That responsibility is yours. This message is not negative. It is empowering. Because when you understand that nobody is coming to save you, you stop waiting. You start working. You stop complaining. You start improving. You stop seeking validation. You start building quietly. Success does not require applause. It requires discipline. It requires focus. It requires effort, even when no one is watching. Work in silence. Improve in silence. Let results make the noise. In this video, we will talk about why you must stop depending on attention and start depending on effort. Because the world may not care, but your future depends on you. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Stop seeking validation. If you truly want to grow, you must stop seeking validation. Validation means wanting approval, wanting people to notice you, wanting people to praise you, wanting people to clap for your effort. At first, it feels good. When someone appreciates you, you feel motivated. When someone praises you, you feel confident. But here is the problem. If your motivation depends on praise, it will disappear when praise disappears. And most of the time, praise does disappear. People are busy with their own lives. They are not watching your effort daily. They are not tracking your improvement. They are not thinking about your dreams every night. They are thinking about themselves. And that is normal. So if you depend on attention, you will feel disappointed often. You will say, "No one cares about my hard work." You will say, "No one supports me." But the truth is, you do not need everyone's support. You need discipline. You need consistency. You need belief in yourself. When you seek validation, you give others control over your emotions. If they praise you, you feel strong. If they ignore you, you feel weak. That is dangerous. Your self-worth should not depend on other people's opinions. Work hard because your goals matter, not because someone is watching. Study because your future depends on it, not because someone will post about it. Exercise because your health is important, not because someone will compliment you. When you stop seeking validation, you become independent. You begin working quietly. You improve without announcement. You focus without distraction. Seeking validation often slows progress. You post before finishing. You talk before achieving. You explain before proving. Talking feels like progress, but it is not. Real progress happens when you work silently. Let your results speak. When you achieve something meaningful, people will notice automatically. But if they do not notice, it still does not matter. Because you improved, you grew stronger, you moved forward. That is what matters. Another problem with seeking validation is comparison. You start comparing likes, comments, attention. Comparison steals focus. Focus is power. When you focus on improvement, you grow. When you focus on approval, you stall. Nobody cares about your effort as much as you do. And that is not sad. It is empowering. Because it means you are fully responsible. Responsibility creates strength. When you stop waiting for applause, you stop waiting for permission. You begin acting. You begin building. You begin becoming stronger. Work hard even if no one notices. Wake up early even if no one praises you. Stay disciplined even if no one supports you. Because one day results will speak. And even if they do not, you will know the truth. You worked harder. You improved yourself. You did not wait for validation. And that is real strength. Lesson 2. Stop complaining and start building. If nobody cares, then complaining changes nothing. Complaining feels good for a moment. You release frustration. You explain your problems. You blame circumstances. But after complaining, what changes? Nothing. The problem remains. The work remains. The responsibility remains. Complaining is emotional comfort. Building is real progress. Many people spend years complaining. They complain about their job. They complain about their family. They complain about their situation. They complain about lack of opportunity. But they do not build. They do not learn new skills. They do not improve discipline. They do not create new paths. Complaining creates weakness. Building creates strength. When you complain, you focus on what is wrong. When you build, you focus on what is possible. The world does not reward complaints. It rewards solutions. If your situation is difficult, improve your skills. If money is low, increase your value. If opportunities are limited, create your own. Nobody is coming to fix your life. That responsibility is yours. Complaining makes you feel like a victim. Building makes you feel powerful. Victim mindset says, "Why is this happening to me?" Builder mindset says, "What can I do about it?" That shift changes everything. Every successful person faced problems. But they did not stop at complaining. They worked harder. They adapted. They learned. They tried again. When you stop complaining, you free up energy. Energy used for complaints can be used for improvement. Instead of saying, "I don't have time," manage your schedule. Instead of saying, "I am not talented," practice more. Instead of saying, "No one helps me," become self-reliant. Self-reliance builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum builds success. Complaining also damages reputation. People avoid those who complain constantly. They prefer those who act. Builders attract respect. Complainers attract sympathy. Sympathy does not create growth. Action does. This does not mean you ignore real problems. It means you respond constructively. You identify the issue. You plan a solution. You execute consistently. That is maturity. Nobody cares about your excuses, but results always get attention. Work harder quietly. Fix what you can control. Let go of what you cannot. Control your effort. Control your discipline. Control your reaction. Complaining wastes time. Building uses time wisely. Time is limited. Every hour spent complaining is an hour not invested in growth. Imagine if you replaced every complaint with one small action. One page read. One skill practiced. One workout completed. After 1 year, your life would look different. Stop talking about problems. Start solving them. Stop waiting for fairness. Start creating opportunity. Stop expecting comfort. Start building resilience. Nobody cares about your struggle until you turn it into strength. So turn frustration into fuel. Turn disappointment into discipline. Turn rejection into motivation. Work harder. Build daily. And let your progress be louder than your complaints. Lesson 3. Develop extreme self-responsibility. If nobody cares, then you must take full responsibility. Not partial responsibility, not when it is convenient. Extreme self-responsibility. Extreme self-responsibility means you stop blaming everything outside of you. You stop blaming your background. You stop blaming your family. You stop blaming your past. You stop blaming the system. Blame feels easy. Responsibility feels heavy. But responsibility gives power. When you blame, you give control to others. When you take responsibility, you take control back. Ask yourself honestly, if your life stays the same for 5 years, who is responsible? The government? Your friends? Your boss? Or you? This question is uncomfortable, but growth begins with discomfort. Extreme self-responsibility means you own your mistakes. If you wasted time, accept it. If you procrastinated, accept it. If you failed because you did not prepare enough, accept it. Acceptance is not weakness, it is strength. Because once you accept responsibility, you can change direction. If you deny responsibility, you stay stuck. Nobody cares if you are tired. Nobody cares if you feel unmotivated. Nobody cares if you had a bad day. The world moves forward. So you must move forward too. Extreme self-responsibility means you become your own leader. You wake yourself up. You push yourself. You correct yourself. You do not wait for someone to discipline you. You discipline yourself. You do not wait for someone to inspire you. You inspire yourself. That is power. When something goes wrong, do not ask, who caused this? Ask, what can I do now? This mindset removes helplessness. It creates action. Even if something was not your fault, your response is still your responsibility. You cannot control every event, but you can control your reaction. That reaction shapes your future. Extreme self-responsibility also means protecting your time. If you waste hours scrolling, do not blame distraction. Blame your choice. If you delay important work, do not blame laziness. Blame lack of discipline. Then fix it. This mindset is not about self-criticism. It is about self-ownership. Ownership creates freedom. When you realize your results depend on your effort, you stop waiting. Waiting creates frustration. Action creates progress. People respect those who take responsibility. Leaders take responsibility. Winners take responsibility. Strong individuals take responsibility. Weak individuals blame. Ask yourself daily, what can I improve today? Even if it is small. Read more. Practice more. Move more. Focus more. Nobody cares about your potential until you turn it into results. Nobody will fight for your dream as hard as you must. Extreme self-responsibility means you accept that truth. You do not complain about it. You use it. You say, if nobody cares, I will care more. If nobody supports, I will push harder. If nobody believes, I will prove. That mindset creates power. Power creates momentum. Momentum creates success. Life does not reward excuses. It rewards ownership. So take ownership of your habits. Take ownership of your schedule. Take ownership of your growth. Because when you accept that your life depends on you, you stop being average, and you start becoming unstoppable. Lesson 4. Build discipline when nobody is watching. If nobody cares, then discipline becomes your greatest weapon. Anyone can work hard when people are watching. Anyone can try when there is applause. But real growth happens when nobody is looking. Discipline in private creates success in public. When nobody checks your work, do you still give your best? When nobody reminds you, do you still wake up early? When nobody praises your effort, do you still continue? That is real discipline. Discipline means you do what must be done even when it is boring, even when it is repetitive, even when it feels slow. Many people start strong. They post about goals. They announce big plans. They talk about ambition. But when attention fades, their effort fades too. That is not discipline. That is excitement. Excitement is temporary. Discipline is consistent. Nobody cares about your daily routine. Nobody tracks your practice. Nobody measures your effort. But your future does. Your future depends on what you do in silence. Discipline is built through repetition. Wake up at the same time daily. Finish tasks even when tired. Complete what you start. Small acts of consistency create strong identity. When you build discipline privately, you develop confidence internally. You no longer depend on praise. You depend on your habits. Habits are powerful. They reduce decision-making. When discipline becomes routine, you no longer argue with yourself. You simply act. Many people fail because they negotiate too much. I will start tomorrow. I will skip today. I deserve a break. Negotiation weakens discipline. Commitment strengthens it. If you say you will do something, do it. Even if it is small, especially when nobody knows. Private wins create public strength. When nobody cares, you have two choices. You can stop, or you can push harder. Choose to push harder. Because those extra hours of practice when nobody sees are the hours that change everything. Discipline also means controlling distractions. It is easy to scroll. It is easy to relax. It is easy to delay. But easy choices create hard lives. Hard choices create easy lives. Choose your difficulty. Choose temporary discomfort over permanent regret. When you work quietly, you grow steadily. You do not need to prove daily. You need to improve daily. Let others talk. Let others relax. Let others doubt. You focus, you build, you improve. One day, results will speak louder than announcements. But even before that day, you will feel stronger. Because discipline builds self-respect. Self-respect builds confidence. Confidence builds presence. Nobody cares about your grind in the beginning, but they will notice when you rise. So work in silence. Stay consistent. Protect your routine. Because the habits you build when nobody is watching decide the life you live when everyone is watching. Lesson 5. Embrace the harsh truth and use it as fuel. The sentence, "Nobody cares," sounds harsh. It feels cold. It feels unfair. But if you understand it correctly, it becomes powerful. The truth is simple. People are focused on their own lives, their own problems, their own dreams, their own stress. They are not thinking about your goals every day. And once you accept this truth, you stop waiting. Waiting is dangerous. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for help. Waiting for recognition. Waiting for perfect timing. While you wait, time moves. Opportunities pass. Life continues. When you embrace the harsh truth, you gain clarity. You realize that if you want something, you must move. No one is coming to rescue your ambition. No one is waking up at 5 a.m. for your success. No one is sacrificing comfort for your future. That responsibility belongs to you. And that realization is not depressing. It is empowering. Because once you accept that nobody cares more than you do, you stop complaining. You stop explaining your struggle to everyone. You stop seeking sympathy. You start building silently. Harsh truth creates hunger. When you understand that attention will not save you, effort becomes your strategy. Effort becomes your weapon. Effort becomes your identity. Instead of saying, "They don't care about my efforts," say, "Good, I will care more." Instead of feeling ignored, use it as fuel. Fuel to study longer. Fuel to train harder. Fuel to focus deeper. The world respects results, not potential, not excuses, not intentions, results. And results require discipline. Nobody claps during the process. They clap at the outcome. So embrace the quiet phase. Embrace the lonely phase. Embrace the unseen effort. Because that phase builds strength. If everyone supported you early, you might become comfortable. Comfort reduces hunger. Hunger creates greatness. Being underestimated is powerful. Being unnoticed is powerful. It gives you freedom. Freedom to build without pressure. Freedom to improve without comparison. Freedom to focus without distraction. Harsh truth also teaches resilience. When nobody cares, you become self-reliant. You become mentally tougher. You stop depending on emotional support for every step. You learn to motivate yourself. You learn to push yourself. You learn to correct yourself. That builds character. Character creates stability. Stability creates long-term success. Do not be angry that nobody cares. Be grateful. Because it forces you to grow. It forces you to become independent. It forces you to take ownership. The world is not responsible for your dream. You are. If you fail, learn. If you struggle, adapt. If you feel alone, remember your goal. Goals do not need applause. They need action. Harsh truth removes illusion. Illusion makes you comfortable. Truth makes you sharp. Sharp people move faster. Sharp people see clearly. Sharp people act decisively. Nobody cares, so work harder, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with focus, with discipline, with consistency. One day people will notice. But even if they do not, you will know. You built yourself. You did not wait. You did not beg for attention. You did not rely on applause. You relied on effort. And that effort will always pay you back. Lesson 6. Turn isolation into power. When you realize nobody cares, you may feel alone. You may feel unnoticed. You may feel like your effort is invisible. But that isolation can become your greatest advantage. Most people fear being alone. They fear working without praise. They fear growing without attention. They fear struggling without support. But isolation is powerful. When you are alone, you are not distracted. When nobody is watching, you can focus deeply. When there is no applause, your discipline becomes pure. Isolation removes pressure. You do not need to impress anyone. You do not need to explain your progress. You do not need to compare constantly. You can build quietly, in silence, in focus, in patience. Many successful people had a long, invisible phase. Nobody noticed their effort. Nobody understood their struggle. But they kept working. Isolation builds mental strength. When you depend only on yourself, your confidence grows. You stop seeking approval. You stop chasing validation. You begin trusting your own decisions. Trust creates independence. Independence creates stability. When you work alone, you learn self-discipline. No one reminds you. No one pushes you. You push yourself. That builds real character. Isolation also teaches you how to manage your thoughts. When you are alone, your mind becomes louder. Negative thoughts may appear. Doubt may appear. Fear may appear. If you learn to control your thoughts during isolation, you become mentally stronger. Strong mind creates strong action. Isolation gives you time. Time to think clearly. Time to plan carefully. Time to improve quietly. Most people waste solitude. They escape it with distractions. They scroll. They complain. They avoid reflection. But if you use solitude wisely, you grow faster. Read more. Learn more. Train more. Think more. When nobody cares, you have full control of your time. That is power. Use it. Isolation also removes unnecessary noise. No opinions. No unnecessary advice. No comparison. You can build your path. You can focus on your strengths. You can correct your weaknesses. Silence sharpens vision. When you are not constantly distracted, your goals become clearer. Clarity increases efficiency. Efficiency increases progress. Many people quit because they feel unnoticed. But being unnoticed is part of the process. The seed grows underground before anyone sees it. Roots are built in darkness. Strength is built in silence. If you can stay consistent when nobody sees your effort, you are dangerous. Dangerous in a good way. Because when results appear, they will surprise everyone. Isolation is not punishment. It is preparation. Preparation for responsibility. Preparation for growth. Preparation for success. Use this phase wisely. Instead of feeling ignored, feel focused. Instead of feeling unsupported, feel independent. Instead of feeling alone, feel powerful. Because the person who can work alone without praise, without applause, without attention is unstoppable. Nobody cares. Good. Now you can work freely, work quietly, work consistently, and let your results be louder than your loneliness. Lesson 7. Build relentless work ethic. When no one believes in you. When nobody cares. When nobody believes in you. When nobody notices your effort. This is the moment that defines you. This is where most people quit. They say, "What is the point? No one sees my hard work. No one supports my dream." But the truth is simple. Belief from others is a bonus. Belief in yourself is necessary. Relentless work ethic means you continue even without encouragement. You continue even without applause. You continue even without validation. Relentless means consistent. Not emotional, not dramatic, not loud, just consistent. You show up every day. You work every day. You improve every day, even when nobody is watching. Many people work hard only when motivation is high. But motivation changes. Some days you feel inspired. Some days you feel tired. Some days you feel doubtful. Relentless work does not depend on mood. It depends on commitment. Commitment says, "I will do this no matter how I feel." That is powerful. When nobody believes in you, it forces you to believe in yourself. It forces you to become mentally stronger. You stop waiting for encouragement. You create your own. You stop asking for support. You become self-reliant. Self-reliance builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum builds results. Relentless work ethic also means you do not slow down because others are comfortable. While others relax, you prepare. While others complain, you build. While others doubt, you focus. This is not about competition. It is about discipline. You compete with your past self. Are you better than yesterday? If yes, continue. If not, adjust. Relentless does not mean extreme. It means steady. You do not need to burn out. You need to stay consistent. Small progress daily is better than big effort once a month. When nobody believes in you, you must protect your mindset. Do not absorb doubt. Do not internalize negativity. If someone says, "You cannot do it," use it as fuel. Fuel to improve. Fuel to practice. Fuel to prove. Not to them. To yourself. Relentless people do not argue with doubters. They outwork them. Silence plus effort is more powerful than words. Another important part of relentless work is patience. Results take time. Growth takes repetition. Skills take practice. If you expect fast success, you will feel frustrated. If you expect long-term progress, you stay calm. Patience protects discipline. Discipline protects progress. Relentless work ethic also means you control distractions. When nobody is monitoring you, it is easy to waste time. But self-monitoring is maturity. You track your effort. You evaluate your day. You improve your routine. Nobody needs to push you. You push yourself. When you build this habit, you become unstoppable. Because now, external conditions do not control you. Praise does not slow you down. Criticism does not stop you. Silence does not discourage you. You move forward because you decided to. Nobody cares. Nobody believes. Nobody watches. Good. Now your work is pure. Pure effort. Pure discipline. Pure focus. And one day, when results appear, people will ask, when did this happen? It happened in silence. It happened when nobody believed. It happened when you worked relentlessly. Keep building, keep pushing, keep improving. Because the person who works hard without attention, without validation, without belief, is building something powerful. Lesson 8. Let results speak and stay unstoppable. At the beginning, nobody cares. Nobody notices your effort. Nobody understands your struggle. Nobody believes in your vision. And that is normal. Every successful person started in silence. They were ignored. They were underestimated. They were doubted. But they did not stop. They did not slow down. They worked. Quietly. Consistently. Relentlessly. And one day, results began to speak. Results are louder than explanations. Results are stronger than excuses. Results silence doubters without argument. You do not need to tell people how hard you are working. You do not need to explain your sacrifices. You do not need to convince anyone about your potential. Work in silence. Improve daily. Let your skills increase. Let your discipline strengthen. Let your mindset grow. Because when results appear, people notice automatically. But here is something important. Do not work hard only to prove others wrong. Work hard to prove yourself right. External validation fades. Internal pride remains. When you look at your progress and say, I built this, that feeling is powerful. Staying unstoppable means you do not slow down after small success. Sometimes success becomes a trap. You achieve something. People finally notice. Praise begins, and you relax. But growth never ends. The moment you stop improving, you start declining. Stay hungry. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Do not let attention distract you. Do not let praise weaken you. The same discipline you had when nobody cared must remain when everybody notices. That is true power. Unstoppable people do not depend on emotions. They depend on systems. Daily routine, daily practice, daily improvement. They track progress. They adjust when needed. They continue moving forward, even when tired, even when unmotivated, even when misunderstood. Life will not become easier just because you worked hard. New challenges will come. New obstacles will appear. But your mindset is stronger now. Your discipline is stronger now. Your work ethic is stronger now. You are no longer waiting. You are building. Nobody cared at first. That gave you strength. That gave you focus. That gave you independence. Now, even if people care, your foundation is solid. You are not working for applause. You are working for growth. You are not chasing attention. You are chasing improvement. Let results speak. Let effort shine. Let discipline lead. And remember this clearly. Nobody cares until you make them care. Nobody notices until you become undeniable. So become undeniable. Work harder. Stay focused. Stay relentless. Because in the end, it is not about who cared at the beginning. It is about who stayed consistent until the end. And that person is you. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your complaints. But the world will notice your results. Stop waiting for support. Stop waiting for recognition. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Work when it is hard. Work when it is boring. Work when nobody is watching. Because the quiet grind creates loud success. If this message pushed you to think differently, like this video, subscribe to the channel for more powerful lessons that help you grow stronger every day. Remember, nobody cares. So, work harder.